Welcome to Breaking News to Trading Moves. We have a very specific agenda for you today.
Yeah, we're looking at one particular headline that came across the wires.
Right. It's regarding Kratos Defense.
That is right, Kratos Defense. The ticker is KTOS.
And on the surface, if you just glance at the numbers in the report, it really looks like a standard beat.
It does. Everything looks fine on paper.
But the market reaction was negative. The stock dropped.
Yeah, it pulled back.
So our goal today is to examine this event. We want to figure out why the market reacted the way it did.
Exactly. And then use that information to categorize the rest of the defense sector into winners and losers.
Right, because it's a very practical exercise for you as a listener.
It is. We take one single data point.
The Kratos earnings.
Exactly, the Kratos earnings. And we see what it tells us about the broader landscape right now.
So let's start with the headline event itself. Kratos Defense reported earnings. What exactly happened there?
Well, they beat expectations. By the numbers, it was a totally successful quarter.
They exceeded what the analysts were looking for.
They did. But more importantly, they provided a very specific outlook for 2026.
And that outlook was positive.
Oh, it was very positive.
Yeah.
They issued a highly bullish forecast for 2026.
Okay.
They are projecting growth. And they were, very explicit about where that growth is coming from.
Where is it coming from?
They tied it directly to drones and next-generation defense programs.
So they are telling the market that the future is bright?
Yes.
And that future is built primarily on unmanned systems and defense modernization.
Precisely. They are basically positioning themselves right in the center of where the Department of Defense is heading.
Now, if you read that press release, you would definitely expect the stock to go up.
You would. A beat and a raise is usually the absolute recipe for a rally.
Usually. But in this case, the stock pulled back. It sold off pretty hard.
It did.
Why? I mean, if the news is good, why is the price action bad?
Well, this brings us to the psychology of the investor. We really have to look at what the market is actually valuing right now. Okay, the material points to a few reasons for this negative reaction. The first is the intense focus on near-term guidance versus the distant future.
Right, because 2026 is still a ways off.
It is. And investors, they can be very impatient.
Very true.
When a company says, hey, we have a great story for 2 years from now, but the guidance for the next quarter or two is just okay.
Or maybe a little light.
Right, maybe a little light. The market just gets nervous. They want to see the momentum right now.
They don't want to wait for the payoff. They want it today.
Exactly. They are discounting that future growth because it's too far away.
What's the second factor?
The second factor is valuation.
Okay, let's talk about valuation.
Kratos, like many defense tech names right now, trades at a high multiple.
Meaning the stock is expensive relative to its current earnings?
Right. When a stock is pressed for perfection, it has to deliver perfection.
Every single quarter.
Every single quarter. If there's any ambiguity, any hesitation from management, the valuation contracts.
The text we are looking at also mentions the pace of the unmanned systems spending cycle.
Yeah, this is critical. Look, everyone knows the spending is coming. The government is going to buy drones.
Right.
The question is when? Is it coming this quarter, next quarter, or is it literally not happening until 2026?
And that brings in timing effects.
Timing is everything in government contracting.
Because it's a slow process.
It is incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Sometimes a contract gets signed in October instead of September.
Which doesn't sound like a big deal.
It doesn't in the real world.
Yeah.
But in the financial world, that pushes the revenue into a completely different fiscal year.
Or a different quarter.
Exactly. For a long-term investor, that shouldn't really matter much.
No.
But for the market, which is reacting to the quarterly print right this second, those timing effects can look exactly like a miss.
So the market is actively punishing timing risk.
They are. They are looking at Kratos and saying, look, we like the theme, but we are worried about the execution timeline.
They want to see the actual orders finalized.
They want to see the cash flow right now.
That concept of the perfect execution standard is really harsh.
It is the reality of high-growth stocks.
Yeah.
If you want the high multiple, you have to execute flawlessly.
You cannot have delays.
0 delays allowed.
So the core takeaway for Kratos here is that the drone theme is alive.
Very much so.
The company is betting its whole future on it. But the market is currently in a mood where it only rewards perfect execution.
And it aggressively punishes any uncertainty about timing.
That is the summary. The thesis isn't broken, but the timeline is under heavy scrutiny.
That is exactly right.
Okay, so that is the Kratos story. But as we said at the top, this news helps us sort the rest of the sector for you.
It does.
Let's look at the winners identified in the analysis.
That's it.
The first category of winners is drone and unmanned systems manufacturers.
Which seems totally logical. If Kratos is bullish on drones, other drone makers should be in a very good spot.
What is the specific logic provided here?
It all goes back to Department of Defense demand. There is a very distinct move toward scalable unmanned platforms.
Let's define scalable, meaning they can buy a whole lot of them.
Yes, not just a handful of very expensive custom-built aircraft. They want massive numbers of systems.
Mass production.
Right. And the text notes that this transition leads to faster order flow.
And better visibility.
Better visibility into future earnings.
Because if the DoD decides to standardize on a scalable platform, that is a steady, predictable stream of orders for the manufacturer.
Exactly. It creates a much stronger growth narrative that the market actually trusts.
Who are the specific tickers mentioned in this category?
The first one is AeroVironment. The ticker is AVA.
AV.
AeroVironment is a pure play on this.
Yeah, what exactly do they make?
They made the small loitering munitions and surveillance drones that fit this scalable description perfectly.
Things you can deploy quickly and in large numbers.
Exactly.
And the second one?
Teledyne Technologies, ticker TDY. Now, Teledyne is a broader technology company, but they have a very strong foothold in unmanned systems.
In the air.
Some, but particularly in the maritime domain. Unmanned underwater vehicles.
So even though Kratos took a hit on its specific valuation, the actual data supports the idea that manufacturers of these systems are in a massive winning position regarding demand.
Correct. The demand signal is entirely positive for the category itself.
Okay, let's move to the second category of winners: defense electronics, sensors, and secure communications.
This is often where the real durable value is hidden in defense tech.
The logic here is all about correlation.
Right. If you have more drones, you inherently need more of the things that go inside them or on them.
The text specifically lists payloads, sensors, data links, secure comms, and networking.
Think about it from a practical standpoint. A drone is just an empty vehicle.
Just a piece of flying plastic or metal.
Exactly. To make it useful in combat, it needs a sensor to see.
Right.
And it needs a data link to send that video feedback to the operator.
And it needs secure communication so it doesn't just get hacked or jammed by the enemy.
Right. And there was a vital margin argument here as well.
Break down that margin argument for us.
This is a key point for investors to grasp. The airframes themselves, the actual flying bodies.
They might be lower cost.
Yes, because the DoD actively wants them to be affordable. They want to be able to lose them without it being a financial disaster.
But the mission systems content, the electronics inside that, can expand.
Expanding rapidly.
So the expensive part is actually the tech hidden inside.
Exactly. You might have a relatively cheap expendable drone carrying a very sophisticated high-margin sensor package.
Which supports the profit margins for the companies making those specific components.
Yes, they hold the pricing power.
Who are the winners in this space?
L3 Harris is the first one. Ticker LHX.
LHX.
They are an absolute leader in tactical communications and networking.
Why does that matter for drones?
Because if you were going to have swarms of drones flying together, they absolutely need to talk to each other securely. That is L3 Harris.
And the second ticker?
RTX. Ticker RTX.
RTX.
They are a total giant in sensors, radars, and effectors.
Effectors being the things that actually take action, like missiles.
Right. As the sheer volume of platforms increases, the demand for their sensors increases right along with it.
So LHX and RTX are winners because they supply the high-value internal tech that makes the drones actually work.
That is the core logic.
The third category of winners is AI, edge compute, and rugged defense networking.
This is really about the brains of the operation.
The text notes that autonomy requires onboard processing.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
If a drone is going to operate autonomously, it needs to process data in real time.
Without asking for permission.
Right. It cannot always rely on sending data back to a central command post.
Because of latency.
Latency, or the signal getting jammed. It needs what we call edge compute. Processing power right there on the edge of the battlefield.
And data fusion.
Taking all the raw inputs.
Visual feeds, radar, signal intelligence.
Yes, and fusing them into one coherent, actionable picture. And then it needs robust battlefield networking to share that data instantly.
The spending trend is really moving towards software-defined defense.
That is exactly where the money is flowing. Hardware is just the vessel. Software is the actual capability.
And this spending obviously rises alongside drone deployments.
The more drones you have, the more software and network backbone you need.
Who are the tickers benefiting here?
Palantir, ticker PLTR.
PLTR.
They are the ultimate data fusion company. They provide the software infrastructure that actually makes sense of the battlefield chaos.
And the other one?
Arista Networks, ticker ANET.
ANE.
This is all about the networking infrastructure. High speed, incredibly low latency networking is essential for these AI systems to function.
And Arista provides that backbone.
They do. They build the pipes that the data flows through.
So we have the manufacturers, the sensor makers, and the compute and AI providers as our solid winners.
We do.
Now we have to flip the coin and look at the losers.
Right. The Kratos news also perfectly highlights where the hidden risks are right now.
The first category of losers is high multiple defense tech.
And this brings us right back to Kratos itself.
The logic is all about the danger of high expectations.
When a stock has a high valuation multiple, it is priced for a very, very optimistic future. Everything has to go right.
So what happens when there is a glitch?
If there is small, near-term guidance, softness, or even just management making timing commentary.
Saying things might take a little longer.
Right. That acts as an immediate trigger event.
And the result is fast de-risking.
Investors just sell. They hit the button. They take the risk completely off the table.
And you get multiple compression.
Multiple compression. The stock price drops violently relative to the actual earnings simply because investors are no longer willing to pay that premium price tag.
They re-rate the stock. The ticker's here.
Spirit Aerosystems, ticker SPR. And of course, Kratos Defense, ticker KTOS. They fall squarely into this highly volatile category. The whole dip in the stock price we discussed is explained by this dynamic.
It is a stark warning to be careful with high-flying valuations.
Absolutely. The higher the climb, the harder the fall if you miss a single step.
The next category of losers is traditional crewed aerospace platforms.
The massive legacy players.
The text defines this as a relative rotation risk.
That is just a fancy way of saying that money is moving from one place to another inside the sector.
Where is it moving from and where is it moving to?
Incremental dollars and investor attention are leaning heavily toward drones and autonomy.
Which means they have to be leaning away from something else.
Exactly. They're leaning away from the traditional manned platforms, the big jets.
So it is an opportunity cost?
In a way, yes. Legacy platform exposure creates a distinct lag in performance in the short run, simply because that is not where the fresh money is going.
Who are the specific tickers?
Boeing, ticker BA,
E.
and Lockheed Martin, ticker LMT. Look, these are the absolute titans of manned aerospace. But in this specific context, this rotation to autonomy, they're currently viewed as the losers of that capital rotation.
The money is flowing out of them to fund the newer names.
Exactly.
Finally, the last category of losers, defense services and IT consulting.
The massive service providers.
Why are they losers here?
It is all about the current procurement cycle.
Yeah.
We have to look at what the government is actually buying right now.
Where the actual checks are going.
Right. And the money is decisively tilting toward platforms, sensors, and integrated mission systems.
Tangible hardware and software products.
Exactly. And services-heavy names.
They may underperform regarding relative growth expectations.
It is much harder to scale a service business, which relies entirely on hiring people, than it is to scale a product business.
You can just build more products on an assembly line. You can't just invent highly cleared personnel.
That is exactly the bottleneck.
Who are the ticker?
Accenture, ticker ACN.
ACN.
And Science Applications International, ticker SAIC.
SAIC.
These companies do incredibly important work, but they are just not the primary beneficiaries of a hardware and software product boom focused on autonomy.
They are on the wrong side of the cycle right now.
They are.
Well, this has been a very structured look at the sector for you. We took that one piece of Kratos news and used it to identify the clear winners and losers.
It really clarifies the market's collective thinking.
To wrap this up, let's synthesize the final takeaway.
The market behavior is crystal clear. Investors are drawing a hard line distinguishing between the theme, which is broadly considered very good,
And the timing.
and the timing, which is considered highly risky right now.
They love the drone story.
They do, but they are extremely wary of the actual timeline for cash flow.
They want to be right on the theme, but they don't want to be early on the stock if the earnings aren't showing up yet.
That is a crucial distinction for anyone watching these names.
It really is.
Before we go, we need to state our mandatory disclaimer.
Yes, we do. Please remember, this is not financial advice or buy or sell recommendations.
This is purely the opinion of the author.
Always do your own research. Thank you for listening to Breaking News to Trading Moves. We hope this analysis helps you navigate the market.
Goodbye.
See you next time.